Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to Utility Sports. Today, we're going to be taking another look at a shoe review here on the channel. For those of you who don't know, we have done another one of these in the past on my Harden Volume 5s. There will be a card for that right here if that's something you want to watch going before this video. And in today's, we're going to be doing the Kawhi Leonard's part of his New Balance Jolly Rancher collection. And I actually have the blueberry edition here. Obviously, you can see the blue raspberry right there, blue raspberry form of the shoe here. And it's a really fun shoe. So we're going to jump into this. If this is a new channel to you, if you guys haven't seen Utility Sports content before, please hit that subscribe button. Also, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest in the sports world, such as transactions, moves, rumors, and so on, as well as fun things like these with shoe reviews and a whole bunch of other stuff that we have coming up on the channel. Also, new merchandise. Link is in the description. We've got a Mock Draft Wizard sweatshirt up, a Mock Draft Wizard phone case, and also traveling mug, as well as a Hot Take t-shirt, all designed by me. I think that they're very nice looking designs, so go check those out. Link is in the description for that, guys. And now jumping into the shoe review here. Like I said, we are focusing on the blue raspberry edition of the Kawhi Leonard New Balance sneakers here. And here's just a quick look at the shoe all in all. Here is the bottom of the shoe, the side. This is the inside. Here is the insole as well, if you guys want to see that. Pretty fun design in there. So first things first, as we usually start here, we're gonna start with looks. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. I think this is a beautiful looking shoe. It's bright, vibrant. For those of you who don't know, I really love vibrant color shoes. I think that they really pop when you're playing on the court. I just don't really like a lot of that white and black, gray tones. I've really started to fall in love with colors when I'm playing on the floor. And this shoe obviously is the embodiment of this. You're walking down the court with both of these, and people are going to notice your shoes for sure. So this is a fun color for me. I really like what they got going on the tongue here. Obviously, the Kawhi Leonard with Jolly Rancher logo design. Let's get this nice close up there for you guys. Get a good look at that. Obviously, got the grape, cherry, green apple, watermelon, and of course the blue raspberry, which is also found here on the side, saying ha ha ha, like Kawhi Leonard's ha ha ha, which is pretty funny, obviously, from his interview with the Toronto Raptors. And I think also looking at the shoe, not only does it have good color, but it's also got some unique features to it as well. Like here also on the tongue, we can see that it says 4-time All-Star, 2-time champion, 2-time finals MVP, 2-time defensive player of the year, which is really cool. It has his accolades on the shoe. That is actually on both pairs, both sides of the shoe, both the left and right shoe for this. It's also got this nice little eyelet here with the number 2 on it, obviously the number that Kawhi Leonard has worn throughout his career for the San Antonio Spurs, Toronto Raptors, and the Los Angeles Clippers. Of course, the nice New Balance logo on the back as well, along with Kawhi's signature. I think the back of the shoe actually really pops. I love the way the New Balance looks with the combo of the blue and yellow. I think that it really, really pops off the shoe. And it also is in a unique design with these slashes through the end in New Balance. I think it is a very unique design. And I think also, looking at the shoe, you have to look at it as having very good texture throughout the shoe. You can see the mesh here across the majority of the shoe. Makes it look not necessarily bland. Up here, we got this plastic-y look. A little bit different, not something I commonly have on my shoes, but it does not really detract from it. Actually, I think it makes it pop pretty well in the light. You can see here with my lighting that I've got coming in onto the scene here, how much it really pops, how bright the yellow really looks. On the court, it looks really, really nice. And this is one of my favorite parts here. Across the body of the shoe, we have this little textured pattern here going from a dark blue to a mid blue to a very, very light blue. I think it kind of ties the whole shoe in together well as we transition down into where the midsole is. And you've got a pretty generic midsole here, a lighter blue, kind of what we have for the blue on the channel, actually. But I think all in all, for a shoe that is predominantly blue, it has enough variation in it where it doesn't look like you're just looking at like a blue wall. You know what I'm saying? You've got enough texture, enough pattern in the shoe to really break it up. They do a pretty good job here implementing different blues, different textures across the shoe in a variety of ways. And I think all in all, I really like the way it looks. And across, of course, the bottom too. I think the bottom has a very nice, unique pattern. It's got that like light blue bubblegum look to it. And you can still see the colors underneath. I think it's a very interesting design for the shoe. And so far, I've really loved having them. This is one of my favorite shoes that I own to look at. So now let's take a look into the category of performance, how it actually works and feels when I'm playing with it. I've worn the shoe 2 times, playing actually in it, and for about 5 or 6 hours at this point is how much playtime I've gotten in these shoes. So I have a pretty good feel on how they fit. One more quick look as well at the insole here. I just love this part of the shoe so much. Very unique design. But now, talking about the performance of it, I'd probably have to give it a 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. Not my favorite shoe to actually play in terms of comfortability. It is a little bit heavier than some of my other shoes. This shoe probably weighs about 9 or 10 ounces, which is a little bit heavier. I like to have my shoes between about 5 to 8 ounces if possible, just a little bit lighter. Especially I play more like a guard. Now, if you're a wing or a bigger person, this will work. If you're like 6'3" or up, this will feel very, very comfortable for you. I don't have any concerns about that. And it actually runs a little smaller, in my opinion. I got this in 11 and a half, actually. I tried this on at a store because I don't have a lot of pairs of New Balances. Surprising, I know. But so I had to try it on before I bought it. I didn't want to buy it online and get the wrong size and have to send it back and do all that stuff. So I looked at it in store. I tried it on. It did feel pretty good, but I did get an 11 and a half. I generally wear size 12 or 13, sometimes 13 in Adidas. So I'm down a pretty noticeable amount here, at least half a size for most of my shoes and a size and a half in some of my shoes. So it's a little bit smaller. And one thing I'm also going to talk about is the back inside of the shoe. So here's my right foot here and the back inside. So closer to my left heel for the part of my right heel, that is a little uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. It kind of is elevated a little bit. So this part right in here, about at this point, which is on the inside of the shoe here, as you can see, the inside of the shoe, it is a little elevated. It kind of put my heel at a weird spot. Now, maybe if I wore it down a little bit more, I could maybe flatten it out, but it does feel like my foot is not sitting in their level like this. It feels like it's sitting a little bit like this, if that makes a little bit of sense. So that's been a little uncomfortable for me. And also, you can probably tell some of the wear on it as well already at this point. Only having played in it twice, you can see some of the bends here along the midsole. This might be just the way I move, but it is on both of my shoes. It's not just one side. So I think that the shoe itself does give way to bending a little bit here in the midsole area. There's also a little bit of bend on this side. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see this or not, but let me get it nice and in close here for you. You see, again, some of the bends right in here. This area, not necessarily the best. If you're looking for long-term maintenance of a shoe, I don't know yet exactly how this shoe is going to hold up long-term. It does look like it's holding up pretty well in the top half of the shoe, but like I said, the midsole does seem to be bending a little bit with the way I've been playing in them. So like I said, a 6 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10 for durability and performance. I do think it feels pretty good once you get moving in it. But like I said at the start too, it does feel a little uncomfortable on your back inside heel, just a little bit in my estimation. I also think one thing that's really important to touch on for one of the positive qualities about the performance and durability and just the fit in general is it's got these free laces. A lot of shoes lately have been starting to incorporate the tongue kind of into the lacing and into the actual body of the shoe. This is a free tongue. You can see how much room there is. So your foot does have a lot more room to fit into the top half of the shoe across the top half plane, which I like a lot because a lot of these other shoes, especially like a shoe like the Harden Volume 4, just doesn't really give that with you with the way that the tongue is constructed into the body of the shoe, whereas the Kawhis here, part of the Jolly Rancher collection, does. It does give you a lot of that extra support and extra little bit of versatility, flexibility with what you're able to do with the shoe. So if you have a little bit of a higher arcing foot, it'll work for you. Also, if you have a little bit bigger of a foot just in general, maybe a little wider or a little fatter foot, this will still work well for you in that area. My feet tend to be pretty narrow. I fit into most shoes without having to get wide versions ever. So I don't have much of a problem with it, but I know for some of you that maybe have bigger feet or are looking for something that gives you a little bit more versatility, I think that the Kawhi Leonards here for the Jolly Rancher collection would be a very viable pair in a lot of different ways. And just all in all, the performance when I'm actually on the court, it is comfortable. I'm not going to lie. It's not too heavy. Like I said, it is a little heavy, but not too heavy. It's not like a pair of LeBrons where it's going to really weigh you down where you're going to feel it. I just think it's a little heavier than I would prefer, but at the end of the day, I still am very happy I bought it. These go retail for $160 right now. So these are fairly expensive shoes, but at the end of the day, I do think that they are very well worth buying, especially based on the design. Like I said, this is one of my favorite shoes to actually look at. And it's also one of my favorite pairs to wear, even though it's not the best in terms of comfortability and durability and production on the floor. But at the end of the day, I do like the way it looks. I like the way people look at it when I'm wearing them. They draw a lot of people's eyes, and that's really my point of buying shoes and wearing shoes that are so bright and colorful is, I want people looking at them. I want people commenting on them. And the Kawhi Leonards will do that for you. Again, what a sweet design here on the tongue. All in all, I really love this shoe. Overall, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. The looks itself are well worth it. If you're looking for a shoe just to buy to display, I highly recommend the Kawhi Leonards, especially any of them along the Jolly Rancher collection. The Blue Raspberry rather, is one of my favorites for sure. Also, just the plain one with all of the different fruits on there is also very, very good. I think it's a very unique design. It's one of those that show a lot of character for a signature shoe. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard's favorite flavor being blue raspberry was a big reason that I was inspired to get this version of the shoe over any of the other ones. And also, like I said, the color just pops. I really like the way it looks. Hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. Also, let me know, would you be interested in seeing any of the clips of me playing basketball in some of the shoes here that I'm talking about and exactly how they look on the floor? That could be something we could get on the channel as well. Thanks again, guys, so much for watching. If you did enjoy, hit that thumbs up button. Also, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and we'll catch you in the very next video.